review committee, and things get to our agenda as requested by all the elected bodies on the city council. So it's not ever our intent to, it's a responsibility and every council member can submit an item for consideration, and I believe it's our responsibility to make sure that we move that work forward and get to public forums like this where we can just to talk about it and decide what we're going to do on that. So I just wanted to make a comment to that respect. So I have other comments, but generally someone else starts out besides me. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go.
Councilmember Mel?
Thank you, Councilmember Zolman, for bringing this issue forward. It's just wonderful to hear all the comments on this issue. I think that this is a very, very important environmental issue. And I think that Judith, who was a public commenter, said it so beautifully. She basically said exactly what I wanted to say. And I think it bears repeating. I am inspired and grateful for your courage, for your commitment to your values and to the care that you feel for the animals. I believe in the right to rescue animals in distress. I hear that you spent months trying to report the cruelty, or somebody in your group did, and that those requests were unheard, and that this is a problem that is continuing, and I just am grateful for your actions. The difficulty for me is that the resolution that's before us for Sebastopol, it's not substantiated, so it's like a story that I cannot prove. One of the comments, that just one example of that, it says that the DA, that there was a member of the DA's office appeared at an event. I don't have proof of that. I don't have proof of a lot of this. It's like the story without proof. And so I'm uncomfortable with that. However, I'm not uncomfortable with what Berkeley passed. And if there was a way that we could adopt the resolution that Berkeley passed and just modify it slightly, would that, could we do that? Because I cannot tell a story on behalf of the city of Sebastopol that I have no proof of this. There's like, when you write a resolution, my understanding is you make a point and you have to give the data for it, like Berkeley did. They said, the first thing they said was, there's 2,500 studies showing that non-human animals have emotions, personalities, and the ability to feel pain, fear, and stress. And then it's cited, citation number 1, Mark Beckhoff, after 2,500 studies. So it's just, and then the Cambridge Declaration, there's the citation for it. So without that, I couldn't support it. So, but I would support copying the one that Berkeley did, maybe adding back in the fact that Berkeley and San Francisco passed it, and making some small changes to, because Berkeley said there were 6 activists from Berkeley, so that if that could be changed to 4 activists, and then adding back in Berkeley and San Francisco have passed resolutions, and then changing the last further be it resolved, so that it would go to the right people. So that's what I'm suggesting as an alternative, and I know this is time sensitive, so I don't know if we can do this within the time limit, but that's what I would support. And thank you all. So.
Okay. All right, I see Vice Mayor Rich next.
That's brilliant. That's actually the direction I was going. I have to take a minute to just say thank you for all of you who are here and are being so articulate and are passionate about your goals. I have no concerns about the city of Sebastopol, our ability, our standing, our authority to take a position on this issue. I'm confident as an elected that we could take a position on this issue. That does not concern me. We see the city of Berkeley and San Francisco having done exactly those, taken exactly those steps. I too, my disconnect was I felt that I was being, I feel that in the resolution as it's currently drafted, I am being asked to reach factual conclusions. And I can't do that. And it's a pending case, so that I'm not comfortable with. That needs to be adjudicated in a court of law. We aren't a judiciary here. However, in terms of the principle, that's what I see captured in the Berkeley resolution and also the San Francisco resolution, but specifically the Berkeley resolution, because what they're talking about, and I direct this to you, council members only, because you brought this forward, the strength, the force of that Berkeley resolution is they're talking about the law. They're laying out what California Penal Code Section 597B says, reiterating that voice and that statement, and then stating that their city, and I would be comfortable with the city of Sebastopol doing the same thing, supports the legal provisions and the underlying principles regarding activists that are reflected in that. So I too would be very interested, if it would serve the purposes here, in taking the Berkeley resolution, all of the whereases, and making some limited changes that honestly I think we could work through tonight if you were interested, council members only, to come up with a final resolution. That's what I was.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Councilmember McLewis, gets a drink of water. I will go with my comments. So I said, no one on City Council, of course, controls our agenda, but with that said, I'm not comfortable supporting this. I admire you all, youth, I want you to be who you are, but we just deliberated on a very similar issue about a month ago, which we all stated that activists have the right to protest, but I publicly stated in that respect that I didn't think it was something that I should be weighing in on or addressing in this role on City Council. I have my own personal beliefs, that's separate, but in this role, we're policymakers, and especially because it's still a pending case, and I kind of refreshed myself in the article. You know, I'm not a prosecutor, I'm not the police, I haven't studied the issue at all to the point where I could make a firm decision. I certainly hope our youth, because you did something you believed in, are not gonna end up in jail for that, but I just don't feel like I'm the right, in this role, it's appropriate for me to weigh in on this decision. And therefore I'm not going to support the resolution. I also, while I can appreciate that two people on the council have studied the Berkeley resolution, I can see it's multiple pages long and I have not read that. I don't think that that's something that we can go through and adopt, as it wasn't part of our agenda item, and I will ask our legal attorney here. But I am not prepared for something that I haven't studied to adopt it on the fly. So if somebody wanted to bring that back on another agenda item, that would be fine. But that's where my position is, kind of weighing in on this. I just don't know the facts of the case. And therefore, since it's a pending case, I don't feel comfortable backing a resolution that leans one way or another. I mean, the reason they want the resolution is because it will help the case, and I can't agree to that from my vote. So that's where I sit. Councilmember McLewis?
Yes, first of all, I just wanted to commend your passion, you know, your tenacity, also your compassion for animals. I'm very compassionate. I have many animals, many who are sick, and I take care of daily. And I'm sorry that the paths you've gone down have been frustrating and not finding the answers that you seek in the resolutions. But that being said, I just don't feel comfortable supporting this tonight. Again, the case is pending. I don't feel like in this role that it would be appropriate for me to weigh in. And you know, as Mayor Hinton said, I think I love to see that you're all here and that you have much to say. I have a son who's, you know, in high school, and I know he feels very passionate about some things, but the one thing that we always discuss are the consequences, and you know, and I live by that, and I'm not here to judge, but I just don't feel like in this role right now that it would be appropriate to weigh in on this, so I'm just not comfortable with it. But I just want you to understand that I also commend you for your passion and tenacity, and I hope, you know, that this gets resolved for you in an appropriate way, that you know, I don't want to see people going to jail, but at the same time, I just don't think it's appropriate for me to support this tonight.
Mayor Henry, may I ask a question
Sure.
about the Berkeley resolution?
Sure.
So the Berkeley resolution came to me because it was distributed at the request of a council member to all council members. It wasn't posted, I don't think, on the website, nor was it distributed publicly. But does that, I'm trying to know what Mayor Hinton has said, which is that how can we be talking about a resolution as a basis for a decision tonight when it hasn't really been publicly distributed? Can you respond to that? Someone?
As I understand it, the Berkeley resolution is on the city website.
So it was posted as soon as it went out to the city council. That was posted to the city website. That one, as well as the San Francisco resolution, was also posted to this meeting's packet as well.
However, I might comment, to me, it's a matter of logistics. So you could take any document tonight that's related to this agenda item directly, or one that's referenced, and you could work through it if you have the time to do that, and craft a resolution tonight from it, because I think it's part of the agenda item since it was posted in response to the agenda item on the city's website. However, that would be a time-consuming process similar to when we work through planning documents and other things up on the board, so you know, the computer screen, and work through them. That would be quite a lengthy process tonight.
Okay, thank you. And then a question for Council Member Zolman, whoever might know, is this an urgent matter? Is this an item that could be brought back to the city council and still be meaningful to the individuals who are concerned here?
Yeah, I had thought I had saw in the staff report that the next court date was the end of April or the beginning of May. That was my understanding, but I don't know for sure that that is the next court date.
Okay, but it sounds like it's a pending case. It looks, Mayor Hunt, like we have someone in the audience who could share an answer.
Sure, do you guys have a date?
We have an arraignment on May 8th to plead, and then we'll set trial dates on May 8th. So we don't have trial dates, but we have a date to set.
Okay, and that would be May 8th, which would allow us to address this. When is our next city council meeting? Someone help me.
May 2nd.
May 2nd. Okay, so I do have I understand Mayor Hinton's concern about using the Berkeley resolution.
And I'm sorry, I just,
No, that's fine.
the agenda item that I received, it wasn't part of it, so that's.
So my question I would propose the following. First, checking in with Councilmember Zolman to see if he would be even open to using the Berkeley resolution as a foundation for a revision that he could then bring back. So that would be the first question. And then secondly, I have gone carefully through the Berkeley resolution, and I could enumerate approximately 8 specific changes that I would propose, and we could do that very quickly. So, Mayor Hinton, can we kind of walk through that really quickly? Whether you would be willing to consider it?
Sure, but I don't think we should go through the items tonight because we're not tackling that tonight.
I understand.
So I think the question is, Councilmember Zolman, since you brought the item, is Vice Mayor suggestion to you, and you already have another council member that suggested Berkeley. Is that
Yes.
something you think that you take away and
Yes,
work on it and bring it back?
yes, thank
Okay,
you.
yeah.
Okay, so then general observation would be just to use in terms of my observation personally, use all the whereases in the approved statement, if I were revising it, so clearly council members only will do what he wants to. And then in the now therefore, integrate the city of Sebastopol portions. So that would just be my general overview.
Councilmember McWilliams?
I was just wondering, I'm looking at the website, I don't see it anywhere. So that's what I'm trying to.
City of Sebastopol.
I've been